Wanted to go over some maintenance with you on your yard. Let's have a beautiful yard this summer, and how we're going to do that? Well, we talked last week about putting a pre-emergent down. So before that soil temperature gets above 50 degrees, we want to get that pre-emergent down, okay? If you wait till after that time, you've waited too long, it's going to be really hard to control those weeds. Now is the time to control those weeds. Let's get the pre-emergent down. Let's also talk about cutting the grass, okay? We put down a Kentucky bluegrass, 2.5 inches max is where you're going to cut it. No shorter than 2.5 inches. Anything shorter than 2.5 inches, and basically your yard is going to starve. Okay, it's gonna not get enough moisture in it. The roots are going to have to work too hard, and you're going to basically scalp the lawn. It's going to be a bare spot. Now you're going to have to control weeds. You're going to try to seed at the same time. It's a mess. Let's not do that. Don't cut it beyond 2.5 inches, okay? If you have 5 inches of grass, I don't want you to cut it down to 2.5 inches, because I don't want you to cut more than 1/3 of the blade at one time either, okay? Another important thing to think about. So if your grass does get really long, just kind of cut it down, and maybe in a few days, cut it down a little bit shorter to get to that 2.5, okay? Let's also talk about watering and nutrient, okay? We talked about the pre-emergent. Now we also need to feed the yard, okay? Just like you, just like me, we need nutrient, okay? We need to get some nutrient in this yard, okay? So let's get some nutrient in the yard. Let's get some water in the yard. This top of this yard is drying out a little bit. It's got a lot of kind of dormant grass in there. It's got some dead grass in there, and it's got some nice green coming through there. Let's water this. It's gonna help our joints out where, you know, our sod came together. We're gonna control those joints. We don't want it to shrink anymore, so adding moisture to it is gonna help hold that in. We don't want weeds popping up through there, okay? Hope these little tips have helped you out. Join me next week for another Maintenance Monday.